The average new car in America now costs over $48,000. But at $30,000, the EV market gets very interesting, and most people have no idea what's available. Here's exactly what I'd buy. If I had this budget, I wouldn't chase the newest model or the flashiest badge. I'd focus on 4 things: range that holds up in the real world, charging speed that doesn't ruin a road trip, a reliability record that's actually been proven, and value that makes the money feel well spent. These 4 filters cut the list down fast. Here's what's left. Number 3. Smart budget choice, Chevrolet Bolt EV. If maximum value and lowest cost are your priority, nothing at this price point touches the Bolt EV. Here's the situation. The first generation Bolt ran from 2017 through 2023, and for a portion of that run, it had a well-documented battery fire issue that led to a major recall. GM replaced the battery packs in affected vehicles, approximately 142,000 of them, at a cost of roughly $1.8 billion. LG, which manufactured the defective cells, covered most of that. What that means for you as a used buyer in 2026 is actually a significant advantage. Many used Bolts on the market have their battery packs replaced under that recall. The replacement units carry the 259-mile EPA range of the 2020 and later Bolt, and they come with an 8-year warranty from the date of installation. You're not buying an old battery, you're buying a relatively new one inside an older car. The numbers are hard to argue with. The Bolt runs on a 200 horsepower permanent magnet motor, pulls 266 pounds-foot of torque, and hits 0 to 60 in under 7 seconds. The 66 kilowatt-hour battery in the updated versions delivers an EPA-rated 259 miles. DC fast charging via CCS can add roughly 150 miles of range in an hour. The 2022 refresh also bumped the onboard AC charger from 32 amps to 48 amps, which speeds up your level 2 home charging meaningfully. The interior got a larger infotainment screen, upgraded seating, and revised front and rear styling. And the price? Used Bolt EVs, especially 2022 and 2023 models, regularly come in well under $25,000. That leaves you with money in your pocket. Either you hold on to it, or you put it toward a home level 2 charger installation, which typically runs between $800 and $1,500 fully installed. For a lot of buyers, that's the smarter move anyway. Fast, convenient, overnight charging at home eliminates most of the range anxiety that holds people back from EVs in the first place. The Bolt's 48-amp onboard charger makes that investment worthwhile. The Bolt won the 2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year and the 2017 North American Car of the Year. It was the only sub-$50,000 EV offering over 200 miles of range before the Model 3 arrived. The value was real then, and thanks to depreciation, it's even more real now. If your goal is to own the most EV per dollar spent, the Bolt is the answer. Just verify the recall status before you buy. Number 2. Best all-arounder, Tesla Model 3. If you want balance, strong range, fast charging, and long-term data you can actually trust, the Model 3 is one of the most defensible EV purchases at any price point. Here's why it earns the number 2 spot, specifically at $30,000. The used Model 3 market is mature. These cars have been on the road since 2017, which means there are years of real-world reliability data, a large independent service community, and a used inventory that's wide enough to be competitive on price. A 2021 or 2022 Model 3 standard range, or long range is accessible in the $27,000 to $32,000 range, depending on trim and condition, putting it squarely in budget territory. The range on a long-range Model 3 sits at 358 miles EPA rated on the rear-wheel drive variant, one of the strongest numbers in the segment. Even the standard range delivers 270 miles, which covers the daily use case for the overwhelming majority of drivers without any planning required. What differentiates the Model 3 at a practical level is supercharging. Tesla's network is the most extensive DC fast charging infrastructure in the country, with the highest average reliability scores. Road trips in a Model 3 aren't an exercise in hoping a charger works. They're planned in the Tesla app, routed automatically, and executed consistently. That matters far more than buyers realize until they've tried to fast charge a non-Tesla on a long drive. The Model 3 also comes with over-the-air software updates, a minimal interior centered around a central touchscreen, and one of the longest long-term maintenance profiles of any EV. Electric motors, no oil changes, regenerative braking that extends brake pad life significantly. The total cost of ownership math works in its favor over time. One thing worth mentioning that often gets overlooked: the Model 3's resale value holds better than nearly any other EV in this price range. That matters when your next upgrade comes around. You're not just buying a car at $30,000, you're buying an asset with a known exit value, which is something the Bolt, for all its strengths, can't offer at the same level. At $30,000 in the used market, the Model 3 gives you proven technology, a charging network that removes range anxiety, and the most real-world mileage data of any EV on the market. That's not hype. That's 8 years of owners putting these cars through daily life. If you want the all-around safest and smartest buy, this is it. And coming in at number 1, the one and only I'd actually pick, Hyundai Ioniq 5. If I had to spend the full $30,000 right now, this is where I'd put it, and it's not particularly close. The Ioniq 5 launched in 2021 as Hyundai's first vehicle built on the dedicated eGMP electric platform. That platform matters because it was engineered from a blank sheet for electric vehicles, not adapted from a combustion chassis. The result is a car that does things most EVs at this price range simply can't match. Start with charging. The Ioniq 5 uses an 800-volt architecture. Most EVs run at 400 volts. What that means in practice is that the Ioniq 5 can accept up to 230 kilowatts of DC fast charging on a compatible charger. A 10 to 80% charge takes approximately 18 minutes. 5 minutes of charging adds up to 62 miles of range. That's a genuine leap over what you get from most competitors in this segment, including the Model 3 at its standard 170 kilowatt peak rate. Range on the long-range rear-wheel drive Ioniq 5 is EPA rated at 303 miles. The AWD version comes in at 266 miles, trading some efficiency for dual-motor performance. Both numbers are strong, and real-world results track reasonably close to the EPA figures in moderate conditions. The interior is where the Ioniq 5 genuinely separates itself from the competition. Built on a 3-meter wheelbase with a flat floor, made possible by the dedicated EV platform, the cabin feels significantly larger than the car's footprint suggests. The universal island center console slides back 140 millimeters to open up the space between the front seats. Cargo capacity is 531 liters behind the rear seats, expandable to approximately 1,600 liters with the second row folded. The dual 12.25-inch screens run under a single glass panel, giving the dashboard a coherent, deliberately designed feel rather than a screen bolted into an existing exterior. The V2L, vehicle-to-load function, lets the Ioniq 5 supply up to 3.6 kilowatts of power to external devices through a port under the rear seats or through the exterior charging port. You can run a laptop, a power tool, or a small appliance directly from the car. The exterior port works even with the car completely off. Campers use it, contractors use it. People stuck in blackouts use it. This is a feature most people don't think they'll need until they do, and no competitor at this price point offers it as standard. The 2024 facelift added a larger 84 kilowatt battery pack, a rear wiper, updated infotainment, and NACS charging capability for the North American market, which means Ioniq 5 owners now have access to Tesla's supercharger network in addition to third-party fast chargers. That's a meaningful upgrade that quietly doubled the charging options available on road trips. A used 2022 or 2023 Ioniq 5 long range lands comfortably around $28,000 to $31,000, depending on trim. Stretch slightly for the facelift or stay in budget with an earlier model. Either way, you're getting the same 800-volt charging architecture and the same platform. Hyundai's build quality on the Ioniq 5 has earned consistent praise from owners and reviewers. The reliability record through 2023 and 2024 shows a vehicle that holds up well over time. And unlike some competitors, Hyundai didn't strip out features to hit a price target. The Ioniq 5 comes well equipped across trim levels. This is the EV I'd actually drive. The charging speed alone puts it ahead, but the interior space, the thoughtful design, the V2L capability, and the platform-native engineering make it the clear pick at this price point. What I would avoid at $30K. At $30,000, you have enough budget to buy something genuinely modern. That makes the avoidance list important. Older EVs with ranges under 200 miles, EPA cars from 2015 to 2018 that weren't designed for the charging infrastructure or expectations of 2026 belong on that list. The technology moved fast in this segment. A car that was cutting edge in 2017 can feel genuinely outdated now, and the charging capability issues compound over time. You'd be spending real money on a car that's already 2 generations behind where the market sits. Slow DC fast charging is the other hard filter. If a car tops out at 50 kilowatts on DC fast charging, a road trip becomes a series of 45-minute charging stops. The math doesn't work. At $30,000, you should expect at least 100 kilowatts of peak DC charging capability. Ideally more. Anything below this is a daily driver that you're trapped in, not a car you can actually travel in. Finally, skip anything that feels like the manufacturer's compliance car. Vehicles where the EV version was clearly an afterthought, using a modified combustion platform with an undersized battery and a cramped cabin. Those compromises show up in the driving experience, the range, and the long-term ownership numbers. At this budget, you don't need to settle for any of that. Why $30K is a sweet spot for EVs. Here's the thing most people miss about this price bracket. Below $25,000, you're making real compromises. Range, charging speed, interior quality, or some combination of all three. Above $40,000, you're paying for features that mostly serve the top 10% of use cases. Right at $30,000, you hit a window where depreciation has done its work on genuinely good vehicles. Modern EV technology is fully accessible, and you're not funding features you'll never use. You also avoid the cheapest compromises that come with the lowest priced options, while still benefiting from the significant depreciation that hits EVs in their first 2 to 3 years. A car that left the dealership at $42,000 in 2022 and is now available for $29,000 is still the same car. The battery hasn't forgotten how to charge at 230 kilowatts. The 800-volt architecture didn't downgrade itself. You're getting premium technology at a used car price, which is exactly the kind of deal that doesn't exist in most segments of the automotive market. This is one of the best price points in the EV market right now. The inventory is there, the technology is proven, and the value is real. Drop a comment below. What EV are you considering at this budget? And what's the one thing you won't compromise on? Subscribe for more EV content that skips the filler and gives you what actually matters.